to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I am here in studio with Nick. Nick is going to help us answer some very four questions, and we are putting him in the hot seat to help us answer some four questions. Karibu sana, Nick.
Thank you, Kevin.
Nick, the young people are protesting and they're saying the country is commemorating the Gen Z protest that happened last year, of course, those who died. And we saw people turning to streets in numbers. And again, the young people are saying they're going back for Sabasaba. When a conversation is made about people being called to dialogue, the young people are rejecting that because they are saying dialogue is only a table to benefit politicians who want positions. And you must have to forgive them because Odinga had been getting the dialogue and then ends up with half or a quarter or a portion of government. I want to just pick up your mind in a more simple manner. What do you think is taking people in the street?
Thank you so much, Kevin, for this opportunity for us to discuss the problems bedeviling our nation, where we are and where we are supposed to be, and especially the issues of the young people. So to take you back, just to answer that question in a broader way, to take you back to J25 last year, I was in that protest myself. And I was there because the clarion calls of the young people were clear. They were extremely explicit at that moment. The agenda and the objective of that protest was actually issue-based, and it was extremely organic. No politician had been named to have funded that protest. So, and the issues, the reasons as to why the young people on the streets were pegged within the principles of the 2010 Constitution, the issue of number one, which was respect to the rule of law. The young people wanted the government to respect our courts regardless of their position as a government. Number two, the young people wanted somebody who can resuscitate our economy in a very equal manner to ensure that there is equity and equality in everything, in how the formation of the cabinet is being made up, not to be taken by one tribe. Number three, they wanted the issue of devolution to be respected. Then they wanted to issue of inclusivity. Then lastly, to bring the young people to the center of the nation. So for last year, it had objective and it was clear. But for the protest that happened last week, actually the way it began is that the modus of operandi which was used to ensure that they disseminated these protests to the people who are on the ground is actually Twitter, X and Facebook, and more so the issue of TikTok. But you see, people come to the street saying that they want to commemorate the people who died last year. But when we are at the street, they start the chants of somebody must go. So that's sometimes tells me that it is not about the issues or the principles of our 2010 Constitution. It's more of a political trajectory which is taking place. And for me, when it comes to a political issue in which somebody must go, I do not believe that it is actually an issue which comes from inside the young people. It is actually something which has been triggered by a certain political force. So that's where we are.
Now, that narrative has taken the streets.
Yeah.
And in this podcast, we want to ask you, triggered from somewhere, funded all that, then when the country has its intelligence, why do you think the government cannot crush the said force?
Government is in between a rock and a hard place, because actually the president is on the biggest career that any other citizen would like to be, and it is the biggest career in the world. But again, being a president of Kenya is actually something that I do not think there is somebody who admires now to be the president of Kenya. It is the biggest responsibility that any other person can have. But why does the government do not want to crush these people? Actually, it's possible for them to crush. But you see, if you decide to go with the young people head on, these people have got nothing to lose. You see, the young people, that person is pretty sure that when I go to sleep, the only property that I have as a person is my body. The head, the respiratory system, the nervous system, and your skeletal muscle. So these people have got nothing to lose. So the government are sure that these people, the only thing they have is their miserable life. Then again, the young people, we have something like, we are extremely impatient. We want the government to deliver government what they promised, like an instant coffee. So for me, the young people, sometimes we lack patience, and we want the government to deliver there and there. But you see, I have told you that the reason as to why the young people are not stopping, it is because the supply of money, the supply of resources towards a certain portion of the young people is still flowing. So this issue of protest will not stop unless the government cuts the conveyor between the facilitators of the protest and the young people. Because these people, I can assure you, Kevin, somebody is behind all these protests. The young people is just, they take the picture, but behind the picture, there is a group of people. And I do not actually understand why does the government, because actually the National Intelligence Service are aware, and they have got all the prerogative to investigate and find out who is this person sponsoring the young people. Because when you see last year on the streets, you see over 1,000 people wearing a certain T-shirts, written a certain number of very vulgar words towards the name of the president. But again, we are not speaking about who is this person giving these people T-shirts, because the young people are saying they do not have jobs, they do not have money. That's why they don't fear, because they don't have even money to buy the fear.
Now, that brings me to this.
Yeah.
Do you think it is just exclusively the funding, or is there really a genuine problem that someone is saying, yes, this person is being paid, if this person is being paid to protest? But again, even the person going back home feels, say, I need to protest because this thing is wrong. Do you think there is also that nexus of, yes, there is a problem. Yes, payment is there, but there is a problem.
Yeah, I agreed with you, Kevin, 100% that as much as I'm saying that there are some people facilitating this protest, I want to agree that there is also a weakness and a deficit of governance in our government. You see, the way our politicians, especially the people surrounding the president, and I don't want to say the president alone because we are in a broad-based government, the people surrounding Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga and the president, these people have become too opulent and extremely arrogant. When the young people raises some issues, the way they respond in a way that they do not portray actually the pictures of people who are in power. Number two, these people looks like they are using fear as a defense mechanism. For instance, you have had a member of parliament anasema hata kura zisipojaa tutajaza. Kuna watu wanasema from the Nyanza region, unasikia some leaders wanasema 2027 we are not going to vote with our brains. We are just going there to ensure that we revenge or to finish what a certain block of our nation started. So they are telling you we are not going to vote because of issues. We are going to vote to punish a certain quarter of the nation. So that tells you there is a problem with our leadership. And if the politician could swallow their ego and listen to the people and correct the concerns of the people. As much as there is that funding, they can just pretend and calm down. They should be on the shoulders of the young people and listen to those small concerns that they are raising, because some issues actually are very genuine, like the issues of employment. I believe that the president, ukiangalia the number of unemployed people are more than 5 million currently, but the president inherited those numbers. So there is no way the president can solve the problems which were there during the era of Moi, during the era of Kibaki, and during the time of Uhuru. But again, you can use a certain tone to suit this person and to make this person calm, not to give your answer in an arrogant concept.
I agree, because the president has been blamed of not being able to sell hope.
Yeah.
I want us to talk about police brutality.
Yeah.
And it is in this context.
Yeah.
The police brutality, yes, we've said it used to happen. This breach even used to happen within the previous administration.
Yeah.
And when Matengi appeared in a recent interview, he really fumbled with that question.
Yes.
But then there is a question, this question is being put in the context of the police high-handedness. The death of Ojwang was quite unfortunate.
Yeah.
And it was a mistake for Ojwang to die in a police cell.
Yes.
Or around the police environment where he's supposed to be protected.
Yeah.
But then that has brought up another feeling that president's men are so, they're so casual about death. And some people are arguing that the presidents need to crush the Kalenjin mafia that are out and they can speak. They speak about elections ruthlessly.
Yeah.
And when these things happen, they are so out about it.
Yeah.
Do you think the president's kitchen cabinet could be a problem?
You see, when you say the president to crush the people from his community, when you see Moi, the people who are in the kitchen cabinet of Moi were the people from his community, because they are the people you trust. And when you see Kibaki, the same. When you see Uhuru, the same people. So there is no way, I do not think the president can, somebody can be outside the tribe of the president, but when you see the likes of Raymond Omolo, the PS of Interior, is not a friend to Raila Amolo Odinga. He's a confidant of the president himself. So it is not about the tribe, it's just that these people who are shouting come from the tribe of the president, because they feel so much entitled towards the government, and they want, again, there is a fight within the Kalenjin community that these people want to be seen as the people who are protecting the president too much. Because ukiangalia during 2027 elections, unapata some people wakiomba kura, they are not talking about what they'll do to the people. Wanasema ati munipe kura, kazi kubwa ambayo nafanya ni kona protect the president huko juu. So these people want to create a certain political optic in their regions to be seen. They are not making these statements actually to make the president happy. They are focusing so much on the voters, the vote-rich region that these people comes from, to ensure that their people wanna feel that they are protecting the president so much. That's actually grandiosity. And that is the problem which, to some point, affect the government. And when you see these people, they are speaking from an individual concept. But again, the perception that the people consume is that it is the position of the president. So for me, I feel sometimes the president should call his out to order, aongelesha watu wake, awaambie mnyamaze. For me to tell them to get out of office, they are the people who are the confidence of the president. And again, our constitution protect your friend. I cannot dictate who can be your friend.
The military has been, the young people have been told, and I listened to a story in the coast saying that if you guys are not careful, military will take over. And it's true. You know, we saw people going to parliament and they're making another way to State House. And the feeling here is, if today the young people make their way to State House, then we'll have no country here, unless the military to save us. But these options are so open even to the young people that if things go this way, we can lose all of us. If president leaves, no, nothing like deputy takes over. The military will say, you leave, I take over, and we have a transition and all that. Why are we not a bit sensitive about the military takeover? Because even if we say, when the soldiers were in the streets, we welcome, the young people welcomed them.
You see, the only entity or the government entity that the young people or the citizens of Kenya trust is our Kenya Defence Force. Most of the people feel safe, more safe when the defense force are within them, because these people are actually friendly. They do not arrest anyone. Then they think if given power to take over the nation, that would be the routine. But you see, Kevin, we have never, as a country, we have never witnessed a situation in which the government, the military takes over. Ilikuwa time ya Moi kidogo for a few hours na ikapotea. But you see, have you ever seen countries ambazo zimekuwa taken over by the military? The repercussions are dire. One, you get out of European Union. Number two, you get out of African Union. Number two, the military will suspend our constitution because they have their own rules and regulations. Number three, the issue of curfew. Itaanza exactly saa 10. Alright? The issue of political parties, which gives you to give your statements as per the ideology of the party, will be suspended. You see, sometimes we talk about the military as if it's a joke, but when it comes, we'll cry more. We better have a government with deficit of governance, or a government, a dysfunctional government, than to have a country which doesn't have any government. So to me, the likes of Osoro are just speaking maybe to sell threat to the people, but the young people are welcoming the same threat, not knowing the repercussions of a military takeover.
Lastly, do you think the youth numbers will not be influenced by tribal or ethnic mobilization?
You see, the young people makes around 65 to 70% of the population of Kenya. So that tells you that reflects even to the voting numbers. So that is in terms of the population. But when it comes to the number of registered voters within the young people, it's actually around 40%. You see, most of the Gen Zs, when you ask a Gen Z, who is your MP or MCA, they don't know. Do you know that? These people, their politics are done in TikTok. To me, I believe that the government has actually complicated the matrix, the political matrix or the demographic matrix of the young people. You see, they are the majority. But again, it has been complicated this way. There is a group of Morara Kebaso and Kasmuel which has been unplugged from the government. As much as there are two, they are followers who are the young people. Number two, there is a group which is being led by the MP of Mumias, Peter Salasia. That person, you might assume that is mentally not okay. But again, he has an influence. Kila mtu akona influence. Pia wewe Kevin, you have an influence somewhere. Kuna watu, they believe in you. So the demographic matrix of the young people has been scattered politically between Morara Kebaso, Peter Salasia, and we have another one inajiita bunge la Gen Z, who are the young people. Then again, unaona team sisi kwa sisi, kuna Eriko Monde na watu wake hapo, kuna other groups. Kuna groups, another mushrooming leaders wanajiita Gen Z. So you see, Gen Z's aina actually a certain position yenye wanataka. They do not have a leader. They are saying they are tribalists. They do not want a political party. They do not want to postulate any form of leadership or structure. So that is the danger of the young people. They have the concept, but again, they do not want to be led by anyone. So that tells you, You see, then again, number two, how the matrix of the young people will be scattered. You see, the politics of Kenya are actually tribal. So by 2027, by next year December, I believe that hii kitu ya agency utasikia tena. You will never listen about it because everything, the ideologies of the young people will be trivialized or reduced to ethnic groupings. So for me, I do not think it will be permanent. It's actually temporary.
In 1 minute,
Okay.
what can guarantee President Ruto second term?
Second term. Let me give you a dichotomy between the leadership of the President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and the William Samoei Ruto. So on this side, you see the President William Samoei Ruto and the President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. In terms of performance, actually William Samoei Ruto amefanya kazi. Ukiangalia 2 years and a half of the President William Samoei Ruto and you go back to between 2013 to 2015, mid of it, yeah, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, William Samoei Ruto is actually ahead of it. But there is something that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta was doing that the President, I think, is not doing. Popularizing and creating an optic on what you have done. You see, Uhuru used to spend a lot of money paying media stations, bloggers, and content creators to showcase what the government has done, or to showcase what the government is doing, or to showcase what the government is planning to do. So that is the only failure that the President William Samoei Ruto has not done. He has not invested so much on popularizing what he has done.
So if he popularizes, that will guarantee him second term.
If he popularizes, because unajua, most of the people are saying this government is corrupt. But let's be honest. You see, when Moi was the president, there was a golden bag scandal ambayo 60 billion iliibiwa. When Kibaki was the president, 70 billion iliibiwa through Anglo leasing. Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, when he was the president, 215 billion was stolen in Eurobond. Tell me one major scandal that you have heard from the president. Number two, I know you believe that for the last 4 months, nobody has complained about SHA because SHA is working. Nobody is not saying, the president that we are saying is one-time president. For your information, he has done on the sector of education. He has built 16,000 schools. He has employed 76,000 teachers. That's a reality in which for the last 63 years, no president has ever done such a marvelous job. Let's go to agriculture. The president, through subsidy of fertilizer, which was reduced from 7,500 to 2,500, it was a reduction by 66.67%. All right? That reduction has translated to production of fertilizer of maize by 38.3% in production imeongezeka, and it has reduced importation of maize by 33%. Let's go to Western and Nyanza, the sugar belt region, ambayo most of the factories, Mumias, Chemelil, Nzoia, zote zilikuwa Moroni, Kabras, it had been closed. But at the moment, they are all functional. And the projection is that in the next 2 years, there will be a reduction. There will be no import of sugar completely. The production of sugar has actually increased by 76%, and the farmers are being paid. Let's go to infrastructure. The president is building roads in places that it had been occupied by criminals. Let's go to West Pokot, the valley. Let's go to Lapsset roads in Northeastern. Roads are continuously being done. The Rironi Road to Mau Summit are being done. The plans are there to build railway from Naivasha to Nyanza region all the way to Uganda. But nobody is talking about that. Let's go to fiber optics. Fiber optics, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta in 10 years aliweka 8,800 kilometers of fiber optics. The president has done 13,825 kilometers of fiber optics. Nobody is speaking about it. Let's go to sector of MSMEs. Haikuwa before. No president has ever given the money like Asla Fund. Na Asla Fund iko. Wewe sijui kama umeapply. Not yet. Okay. So when you apply, iko. Those money watu wanasemanga it's a lie, but iko pesa zinapeana. MSMEs zimekuwa imeinjectiwa around 65 billion. Imekuwa injected to MSMEs. Let's go to the issues of housing ambayo imepigwa sana. But this housing, it was not started by the president. Kibaki actually alijenga 600 houses. Uhuru alijenga 8,000 houses. William Samoei Ruto is currently building 103,000 houses. So si maajabu. Unajua kuna watu wanapiga sana the affordable housing, and the objective is to create employment and to ensure that the people are living in a dignified manner. So
I want to ask you a question about affordable housing.
Sawa.
Do you believe that affordable housing can replace the slums? Your own feeling, leave alone what the president says. Do you believe?
It will replace the slums.
How?
It will. When you see affordable housing where it is being built, imejengwa Kibera, imejengwa Mukuru kwa Njenga na Mukuru kwa Ruben. Alright? Sijui kama umetembea. And when you go to even like the Mombasa, imejengwa sana mahali kuna a slum. And once you see those people, mimi nimetembea hadi Mukuru kwa Njenga when they were giving around 10,000 houses wakipeana. The people ambao wanaishi hapo walipewa priority. Then again,
I want to ask you this question this way.
Okay.
We are building 700,000 houses, according to what the president said yesterday while in London. The people who stay in Kibera, in Kibera slum alone, according to the last census, is around 150,000.
Yeah.
We are building houses that are supposed to accommodate this. And the house is, we have a deposit and the cost of it down. The argument has been that while the houses are there, the issue is about affordability of that house to that person. And that's where the discussion about it's not a housing problem, it's an income problem, because even if I stay in Kibera today and I want a decent house, I'll leave Kibera and go and get a decent house in Umoja and pay just 1 month deposit. So this is where the question has been on affordability to the lower person. Can you talk about that?
You see, there is one thing that most of the people do not understand about housing. Housing iko around in 3 categories. Kuna social houses, then kuna affordable houses, then kuna another one yenye sikumbuki jina. You see, kuna unaona affordable social houses zenye zinapeanwa, hizo pesa hakuna any deposit, a lump sum amount of money ambayo unaulizwa, say that you pay the government ndio upewe nyumba. Ukiangalia wale watu ambao wanapewa pale Mukuru kwa Njenga nyumba, a house of 3,900, all right? Najua you can argue that this person is used to a house of 2K, but you see, the people of Kenya are actually very hardworking, all right? Ukiwajengea these people houses and you tell them to work hard to just find a way yenye wanaweza lipa those houses, they are manageable. Unajua tumeassume kuwa these people are wezi, tumewa disparage, it's like they are people wenye wako underclass. But you see, the government does not need any lump sum amount of money for these people ndio walipe nyumba. Unaingia nyumba, then you pay that house at the end of the month. So actually, it's a magnificent issue ambayo that you might think now it doesn't work, but just give him 10 to 15 years, then you'll see the productivity of those houses.
Asante.